Chair recognizes the member for Harbour Grace, Portagrave.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and it certainly is it's always an honour and privilege to stand in our places here in the House of Assembly to represent our great districts. Of course, I represent the historic, strong district of Harbour Grace, Portagrave, and I guess to start off today, and what I'll be speaking about, I'm going to be promoting the Craft Hockeyville event. As we know, I've mentioned it here in our legislature now several times, that Bay Roberts has made the top 10 for the Craft Hockeyville 2017. And so, guys, I'm calling on each and every one of you in here, and of course Newfoundlanders home and abroad, that to tune in and vote online on Sunday and Monday. So that's March 12th and 13th. The details are available on the Craft website. I know the member for Mount Pearl North is a very big supporter of athletics in his district, so I'm calling on him, of course, and all of our honourable colleagues to do the same. So again, guys, that's on the Sunday and Monday, March 12th and 13th for Craft Hockeyville for Bay Roberts. I want to send out a big shout-out to the town residents, of course, and residents in surrounding communities, as well as town staff and the team at Powell's Supermarket in Bay Roberts. And Powell's Supermarket is a big contributor to the economy, of course, in Conception Bay North, but they certainly came together. All hands came together and made sure that Bay Roberts landed in the top 10. And that's an accomplishment in itself, of course, to make the top 10 of other communities across our country. So again, guys, on Sunday now, of course, the March 12th and March 13th. I'll talk about the Bay Arena as well. The Bay Arena, of course, where we would significantly benefit should we become Craft Hockeyville. The building is over 30 years old itself, but it's quite as the centerpiece in Bay Roberts and in the area there in Conception Bay North. Residents from many different communities, such as Brigus, Conception Harbour, Colliers, Upper Island Cove, Spaniards Bay, Tilton, Shearstown, Butlerville. Of course, we all utilize the Bay Arena. I have two great arenas in my district, of course, the new Harbour Grace Stanley Cleary Centre that was just opened, and of course the Bay Arena. So lots of wonderful things happening, and as I mentioned, it is a centerpiece throughout our community. I also want to talk about an event that's happening in May. It's an annual event. It's called the Song, Stages and Seafood Festival. It's become an annual festival. It's renowned province-wide, and we even have visitors that come from other provinces to come and take in this event. It happens in Bay Roberts, of course, each year. And of course, the Bay Arena is also utilized for the large barbecue celebration. I know the member from Cape St. Francis was out one time a couple of years ago, and he had a great time. Also, the minister was out last year, and we took in the Small Plates event, of course. And I'm proud to say that the minister's department in this government contributed $15,000 to that festival just last year. And and I'm confident, we're going to be a big supporter, of course, in the future, in years to come in this, because it's festivals like this. It's the community initiatives from the volunteers, the many volunteers. We have an abundance of volunteers in Bay Roberts and throughout the district of Harbour Grace, Portagrave. Absolutely, and it really contributes to the tourism. And I'd like to say again and reiterate that we've had a record high for tourism in Newfoundland and Labrador this past year. Despite the fiscally challenging times, it was certainly a record high. And it's these festivals like the Song, Stages and Seafood Festivals all around our province that contribute to that, and they bring people, because as we know, people love to visit Newfoundland and Labrador. Right now, we have a major event happening. It's the first time we're hosting the Briar here in our capital city. And we're very proud, of course, of Team Guju and all the teams. And we hear, if you listen to the local media, ever since the Briar kicked off and just prior to the launching of the Briar, this one thing that's common that we hear is that people are enjoying the hospitality and the pleasantness of the people here in Newfoundland and Labrador. No matter where you go, you always hear people talk about how friendly and welcoming Newfoundlanders are, and certainly that rings true. And I'm very excited to take in my first game tomorrow at the Briar tomorrow morning, so certainly looking forward to this. Also, lots of course, there are many topics now, of course, facing our province, and that certainly will be the case for many, many days to come. But the fishery, as a few members mentioned, the fishery certainly is facing now a challenging time, and we went through this back in '92 with the cod moratorium, and now we're seeing that happen to the crab, to the snow crab. And I have a lot of great strong harvesters in my district, both players in the inshore and the offshore in the district of Harbour Grace, Portagrave, and they certainly will be affected by this. But I mean, as their member, as their MHA for Harbour Grace, Portagrave district, and as a member of the all-party committee for the fisheries, I will certainly do everything I can to stand with our fish harvesters and to do everything that we can, whether that be to lobby our federal counterparts or to work with them. You know, that certainly is a huge dedication and a very big deal in the district of Harbour Grace, Portagrave. And it's time now. I mean, the cod is coming back. And as we know, it is in the mandate of our fisheries minister to re-establish a commercial cod fishery. And so it's great to see that. But this is certainly nature at play. I mean, you know, we've seen the depletion of the cod stocks. They're coming back. Now the depletion of the crab. And I guess, you know, that will be the circle of life. But it is time, of course, now to get that up and going. And like I say, I'm fully committed to that. As well, and it's a backbone of our province. Fishery will always be a mainstay, and it's the backbone of Newfoundland and Labrador, and for both, you know, the plant workers, the inshore and the offshore industry, and our coastal communities. I mean, when the fishery does well, everybody does well here in this province. So it's something, you know, it is a natural renewable resource, unlike oil. So it's something that we can never neglect. And I will reflect upon the times when we were rich. As Brian Peckfort's, our former Premier's book says, you know, someday the sun will shine and have not will be no more. Unfortunately, that's not really true. We saw the sun shining. We felt that sun in our skin when we had $25 billion in oil revenue that came to our province. And had the previous administration created a rainy day fund at the time, or here in our province, a rain, drizzle and fog fund, perhaps we wouldn't be in the situation, we would not be in the situation that we find ourselves in today. Had $3 billion had been saved. Often when I speak with constituents, I compare this to, of course, picture yourself going to Vegas, having a great time in Vegas on vacation, and you hit the jackpot in one of those slot machines, or you win big on poker, or what the case. But you go and you take it all and you throw it all back into a slot machine again in the same night. That's what I can compare it to. That's how I use to break it down and to compare it to what the previous administration did when we had our big oil boom. We were rich. We were a half province. We technically still have the title of half province, but we're certainly not feeling the effects of a half province. And it's unfortunate, but I know that this government is determined and is committed to the people of Newfoundland and Labrador to do the right thing. And I mean, that's listening, that's engaging our people. I know I'm certainly committed to that as the MHA for Harbour Grace, Portagrave. I can't get up here and talk about the money that the province saw, go right out the door, and not talk about Collies Point Primary School. My colleague from Virginia Waters just mentioned, you know, this district is getting ready to celebrate doors opening to a brand new educational facility for their young people, and I applaud that, and you know, thank God for projects like that. But again, I have to ask about Collies Point Primary School. Again, this building is over 60 years old. There are children in that school, young students, Mr. Speaker, who are attending this school now, whose great-grandparents were educated in the very same building. I mean, that's probably a Guinness Book of World Records, you know, accomplishment right there. But I mean, I have to ask, you know, where was the support for Collies Point Primary? At the time, there was money announced several times. We even had the former member for the then district of Portagrave, who was here when the money was here. It was written, it was on paper, it was there, but nothing materialized for Collies Point Primary. But as their MHA for Harbour Grace, Portagrave, I will not. I will stand by the people of my district. I will stand by those young people and do everything I can to lobby and to advocate until we turn the side on Collies Point Primary School. And I will do that. I look forward to the day that we can, you know, cut the ribbon, and we'll be celebrating when there will be a new Collies Point Primary School, because the children, the young people, the staff are certainly deserving of this. We live in an area where we have an expanding population in Conception Bay North and Bay Roberts. The school services children in Bay Roberts, Collies Point, Shearstown, Butlerville, Country Road, Portagrave, Barronede, some from Clark's Beach and even North River. So, I mean, you know, it's a no-brainer. We live in an expanding area. You know, currently students there are utilizing closet space, I'm told. There's no cafeteria. So, again, I always ask, you know, about Collies Point Primary, but it's something that I'm certainly committed to. Also, now, to end on a lighter note, at the end of this week, of course, again, I just want to remind people at home and, of course, my colleagues here in this honourable House, let's support Bay Roberts for Craft Hockeyville. Again, the voting is Sunday and Monday, March 12th and 13th. The details are available online on the Craft website. So again, let's come together. Let's make this happen. I mean, there will be 2 finalists selected after Monday. This is what this voting is for the Sunday and Monday, to select an East and a West finalist. So we are the only community in Newfoundland and Labrador to make this top 10. And again, that's an accomplishment in itself, but let's make it happen. So again, all Newfoundlanders and Labradorians, home and abroad, let's do it. Bay Roberts for Craft Hockeyville 2017. That is my time, Mr. Speaker, and I thank you very much.